Hey, what's up guys? Just before the video starts, I just wanted to let you know that I was doing the brake install and the coilover install at the same time. So that's why when you watch the brake install in the beginning of the video, you kind of see the new coilovers and the old coilovers switching places every so often. So just in case you didn't want to watch the whole video, the big brake kit install annotation is right here and the coilover install is right here. And if you do want to watch the whole video, stay tuned and thank you for watching. What's up guys? Today we are installing coilovers and a big brake kit on the SC. We have Andrew here and he's gonna be helping me out since he knows a lot more about coils than I do. So I got a set of teen tying coilovers, street bases, same stuff that TJ Hunt has or had, and SC400 calipers and rotors. So we're gonna be installing that onto this car today. I'm not gonna be going over every single little detail since this is my first coilover job and I'm probably gonna be missing a few steps explaining things, but that's all right. I'm sure you guys can figure out the rest. So let's get started. First thing you gotta do is take your 20 or 21 mil and break your front bolts for the wheels, so that way we can start jacking up the car and taking the wheels off. So in true Mighty Car Mods fashion, but in actuality, first jack up your car. So just for safety's sake, it's never a bad idea to be extra redundant when working under a car. So we have jack stand, a jack, and then a wheel, because it's better to be safe than sorry. Here's what my suspension setup looks like right now. I got a blown shock, it's leaking fluid everywhere. So regardless of getting a replacement shock or coils, I needed new suspension anyway. If you're doing a big brake install, get that caliper off. In true TJ Hunt fashion, garbage, not garbage. Garbage, not garbage. Make sure you let the car work with you. So in this case, I'm going to turn the wheel all the way to the left so you can get to the caliper bolt in the back, so it's easy to remove. The caliper bolts in the back are 17 mils. So from what we can see or what we can't see, there's no bolt actually holding the rotor onto the hub, which is kind of weird. So we're just going to hammer the rotor until it falls off.
Pops off, yeah.
Unless there's something underneath, but I don't think there is.
No, there shouldn't be. I don't see anything.
But like we said, we're
learning.
Yes, and amateurs, sir. Oh, there you go. Yep, so there was nothing. So to get the new rotor on, make sure to use anti-seize. Make sure to clean the surface of the hub, so that way next time you got to take off the rotor, it's a lot easier. You don't have to bang as hard. So the issue that we ran into is when we put the rotor on this hub, it collides with the dust shield, so we're gonna have to cut the dust shield. We tried bending it with pliers and a hammer, and that kind of works, but then you have an issue where the caliper just comes into contact with this area and then the rotor grinds onto this area down here, so you have to cut the dust shield. It's gonna be too difficult to take the dust shield off and then cut it that way, because the hub needs to come off and that's a pain in the ass. So we're just gonna grind it off or cut it off using angle grinder. So we're using shears, gardening shears, because the angle grinder and the hacksaw didn't work, and the shears are working pretty well. So.
Well, the angle grinder would work, but I don't have proper safety equipment to do it safely.
Oh, there you go. All right, guys, so not only are you going to be cutting off the end of this to clear the caliper, but you also have to cut the whole lip all the way around the dust shield. And the reason is because the lip is interfering with the new rotor. Next is we are going to replace the caliper with a new SC400 caliper, and then use a 14 mil to break that banjo bolt. All right, taking your rotor, stick it on the hub, and then put a lug nut on there so that way it doesn't move around. And then take your caliper and line it up with the caliper brackets in the back. And then all you gotta do is take some washers and put it on the caliper bolts, because they're a little longer than the SC400 caliper bolts. Put some washers on there and then tighten everything back, and you should be golden. So now it's time to bleed the brakes. It's hard. It's on the floor. So whoever worked on my car before this, I don't think they ever bled the brakes, because brake fluid's supposed to be clear,
ish, but this it's not supposed to look like this.
It's like dark green and disgusting. So.
It's supposed to look more like green tea, not coffee.
Yeah. And Andrew started taking apart, removing the strut and the stock suspension. What were you doing exactly?
So we've got the bottom bolt out. I have the caliper jammed up here just out of the way, but as of right now, the sway bar end link bolt way down here is in the way of the bottom of the strut. You can see it right here. It's in the way, so I'm just getting that out. And hopefully this thing will just slide right out.
Oh yeah, and also make sure that you guys break these bolts up here, these three. What actually happened
that would be incredibly helpful.
Was my end link is shot. So we're gonna go to the store and pick up a new end link. So you gotta remove an end link, and then after that you have to remove the top A-arm with that bolt right there, and I'm sure there's one on that side too. Remove both sides, and then after that use your spring compressor, compress the spring, and you should be able to remove the whole
unit.
Strut.
Yeah, strut, coilover, whatever. Oh, and also make sure you gotta get the bottom bolt out, which is, where is it? Can you point that?
What's the size on it?
Oh, it was down here.
Yeah, make sure you get that bottom bolt out so that way the whole thing comes out.
19?
So
this line here that I assume is for the ABS, it's in the way. These two bolts right here, which are 10 mil, come out. That'll give us just enough room to get this whole bolt out and get the upper A-arm out.
So after you made a mess by unbolting every single piece of plastic.
So this piece, those are taken out of the way. Got the bolt slid out of the upper A-arm. Now you can see it's popped out, and that's just enough so we can get this thing out.
Nice.
So now we're gonna get this top cap off, transfer it over to there, and get started.
All right, so we're gonna set the coils for the front to 2 inches, just so when we drop the car, it's not too low and hits the fenders, and then from there we can adjust my height. Now that the strut is in, we're just gonna torque the bolts down. So the top bolt up here is 164 Newton meters, and the bottom bolt right there is
143.
Yeah, 143 Newton meters. So on the driver's side, the A-arm bolt is blocked by the washer fluid. See how you're trying to pull it out, but you can't because it's plastic. So what I'm trying to do here is take a pry bar and essentially just pry it downwards enough so that way the bolt can clear past the washer fluid reservoir, and then hopefully you can get it out. When you're putting the upper A-arm bolt back, make sure you put in from the right side. This is the driver's side, and that's because you don't want it to hit the washer fluid reservoir again. After you bleed the brakes, everything is good and there's no bubbles coming from the brake calipers. All you have to do is put the wheels back on, admire your work, and then start on the rear. So the rear subframe, you can jack it centrally from the rear subframe so that way you can get both sides off the ground. And then all you have to do is put your jack stands on the pinch welds in the rear. And then to get to the top hats for the rear, all you have to do is take this lining, literally pull it down, and on either side of the gas tank you have your top hats, which I believe are 3 10mm bolts on both sides. Remove those and then start getting to work on your suspension from the back. So after you remove these 3, next thing you got to do is remove this 19mm right here and compress these springs, and then the whole assembly should just pop right out. After you take off the old suspension, all you have to do is take a top hat off the old one and then transfer it onto the new one, and then stick it back through the 3 holes at the top, hand tighten that, and then tighten that bolt down to 143 Newton meters, and then you're good to go. That's it. That's it for the rear. The rear is super easy. After you put the rear wheels back in the car, it's time for a test drive. Make sure that your brakes work and make sure the suspension feels good. After a few hundred miles of driving, the coil should settle to its proper height, and then you pick your real height that you want your car to be at, and then go for an alignment, otherwise your tires wear out faster. After that, you'll be able to enjoy your new big brake kit and your new coilovers. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section of the video. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.